get the replay is by going to YouTube. In fact, I believe, hello to the YouTube channel. We are live streaming on YouTube right now, and those YouTube sessions will be recorded. You'll be able to watch them back. So again, dtitrader.com/YouTube. Debbie, you're asking if there's an echo. There should not be an echo. Is anybody else having that? Or it's possible, Debbie, and I do this all the time because I'm generally logging in from more than one computer. If I log into the same presentation on two different computers, then I will get echoes, right? That's the way that works. So if you're logged in more than once, that might be what's going on there. And I see Jonathan has joined the room, already answering some questions. That's great. Jonathan's email address, that's rowe, R-O-W-E, at dtitrader.com. All right, so let's see. Might as well go ahead and start doing the weather reports. So the weather here in Mobile right now, and I'm going to answer for both me and Jonathan because he's just a few miles away from where I am. 90 degrees Fahrenheit with a heat index at 102, only a 15% chance of rain. Anybody wants to send rain our way, other than if hurricane or tropical storm Aaron, Hurricane Aaron, if you're listening, we don't need your rain, but we could use a little nice rain just to cool things down. It's hot. It is hot outside and it is sunny. So that's what we're dealing with the weather in Mobile. What about the rest of you guys? Where are you logging in from? How's the weather in your part of the world? No, those afternoon showers, Pete decided not to show up. I think they're probably waiting for, I don't know, maybe the weekend. You know how it is where you get great weather during the week while you're working and doing things. And you get to the weekend, you get some free time, and that's when it rains. So kind of a Murphy's Law type situation. We're 82 in Sacramento. That's nice. 89 in Arlington. New Orleans can send 100% humidity with no rain. Yeah, Julie, we'll take the rain from New Orleans. That's okay. Just not from east of here. We'll take the rain from the west, not the ones from the east. We're 87 in Winchester and 85 in Minneapolis. Yeah, so right now, yeah, I usually talk to you guys in the morning, and in the morning the temperatures are a bit more moderate. I think last time we talked, I was like 85, 88, something like that. 90, 90, 90. Ooh, that's it's getting up there. All right, and I got Jonathan in the room with me. I think DTI Trader. I believe that's Adam. So we are awaiting Tom's arrival. We do have the summit, if you will, scheduled for occurring right now. And meanwhile, the market S&P futures are sitting at 64.7775. Take a look at this. The half hour range, most recent half hour leading up to the last hour of the U.S. cash market. We show for the S&P futures a high of 83 and a low of 75. I think that 75 area is really where support is. Now, in my mind, resistance, I think, is the open of the day at 64.89 quarter. And with the market trading currently at 64.77, it's leaning a little bit more towards that lower end of the market. But again, to me, one of the biggest things to notice today, the low of the Genesis bar is 64.6150, And the way that lines up with Wednesday's low, I'm getting the sense that the market is at least attempting to build support going into the weekend. So write down that 6461 number. If that holds throughout the day, that might be a big number next week, a big support number for the market next week, or at least I don't know how big. I guess big is a relative term, but 64, 61.50, the low of the Genesis bar, the low of the day. The 64.61 was the low on Tuesday, or excuse me, on Wednesday. And yes, we did briefly move below it with the PPI news, but we're back above it before reference bar 3 opened on Thursday. So we have spent the latter part of this week with the day market open staying above 64.61. So you know how you have to write those numbers down because they might be important coming up pretty soon? Write down 6461 in the S&P futures. And I see that we starting to get more moderators coming in. We should have Tom joining us momentarily. In the meantime, am I an amateur meteorologist by now? No, but I do like studying patterns. And you know, the one thing is like anything that involves numbers and patterns to me is interesting. So whether it's a futures market, a stock market, an option, the temperature, or what else is in numbers? Uh, Watch out if I'm driving down the highway because I'm really paying attention to that miles per hour speedometer. How many miles to go? Anything that involves numbers, I think, is fun and interesting, and uh, kind of a good way to pass your time, paying attention to the numbers in the market. So it kind of fits. So well, 90 is the temperature, 61, 64, 61 is the number to pay attention to. 93 degrees in Kansas City. How you doing, Debbie? And we got 80 in is that northeastern Utah? Time and distance numbers always, yeah, absolutely. And you know, if you break the market down the same way, it kind of makes sense. So, Tom, how are you doing today?
Well, it's been, we've gone so I guess I would say during the week it's been really fast and furious, and then we get to the day, Chuck, and it's been sort of like back and forth with because this meeting that happens at 3, my meeting and the Trump Putin meeting are sort of synced out here, and I think that's been overhanging the market. So I think that everybody's just waiting. A couple of tells that I'd be looking for, okay? A couple of tells would be if you get past 5-10 minutes once the meeting starts, that means the meeting will probably last a lot longer, which would probably be interpreted as positive, okay? Because President Trump did say that within 5 minutes he knows if it's going to be a waste of time or they're going to be able to get something done. I think if he walks away, this is what I think, and I'd like to hear what you think, Chuck. I think if he walks away with a ceasefire for ever how many days, that would be interpreted as a positive. They call it a peace dividend, and that would be considered a positive in my estimation. Okay?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. Now, the timing, Tom, we know politicians are notoriously bad about timing. I just saw about 4 minutes ago, Putin arrived at Elmendorf. So it
Right.
might be a few minutes before they actually sit down.
Yeah, I know that's true, and I'm gonna what I'm planning on doing. I've got a slide presentation. Then we get to the live market. I've got to do a weekend side hustle trade before the close, Chuck, and anything else that we see that might put the odds in our favor. Uh, Another good week overall with what we did, and we did some great education this week. I think our master class for the SPX, Chuck, I keep getting love letters about it. It was so good. and they got me excited. So I'm preparing now for the one that's happening next week on the 21st. But it's got me excited. I always like to give credit to the student that brings it to me, changed my mind, and that's Fred, who was on a one-on-one with me, Chuck, and he challenged me to look at it, and I said I don't want to mess with it. And then I started trading it and trying to figure out how and why you could make a lot of money with this just by being, 70% accurate, which that got me going. Then I had to figure out how to be 70% accurate, how to control the losses, how to take the gains. And I put it together and showed people. Now I've got the other step, which is XSP that goes along with it, which is really, I figured out a great setup each day. And, between the hours of 9:45 and 10:30. Okay. So, I'm pretty excited about it. I got numbers now. I got things. I've really got into it. And I do see why they say the number one topic on the internet right now among traders is these 0-day options. But I'll tell you up front, Chuck, one of the hardest markets I've challenged myself to learn in the last few, I guess, in the last 10 years. I gave up. And then I came back and decided that, I decided to wait. All right, we're getting to the part now where I guess Putin is coming down the stairs and walking, and we got Trump walking towards the red carpet. So why don't we pause what we're going to do? We got time to be with people and see this. This is a historic moment, obviously. I think it's going to be historic. We need to watch it. What do you think, Chuck?
Yeah, sure. Do we have a live feed that we can post?
I don't know.
Or we just let everybody find it. It's probably on YouTube, right? Although
I'm not sure, but I'm watching it right now, and they both on red carpet, or they're walking towards each other. That's it. That's interesting.
yeah, I just pulled up my YouTube. I've got two live feeds that I can watch. Either one, the weekly wrap up, or two, President Trump greets the president of the Russian Federation. So White
Okay.
House and Tom Busby, those are the two live feeds I see going right now.
Well, I called it the Trump Putin showdown and told everybody at on my video, show up. You got to show up for this. This is the story. We're gonna have some fun with it, and I think we might make some money if we pay attention. I'm looking at numbers. I got my roadmap up here, so I'm gonna silence myself for a little bit, and we'll see if we can't do it. Okay, there's the handshake. We were looking forward to that. Let's see if I can cut this off where I can.
I don't think there's any sound on it, what I'm looking at. Seeing the wide shot from the White House, or the White House feed. But it looks like they're gonna jump in the car and go for a little trip.
Yeah, they're going to the meeting, so we can go on and proceed. I just wanted to see that portion of it. It was no accident that when they had the picture taken, the Air Force One was in the background. That was planned. Anyway, you gotta watch everything, right? Okay. So sound like a plan. Okay. All right, folks. I think every week seems like it's historic. And if y'all are having as much fun as I'm having, you gotta admit it's a pretty fun time, right? Okay. So anyway, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, right? Okay. So why don't we to go to T-Buzz TV, and that's good. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All right, in my opinion, here's what I really think. I think the market was up tremendously this week. 64.22 was the weekly open, and the market has to breathe. It's breathing right now, getting ready for another week, the way I look at it. Okay. They're smiling. That's good. Okay. We're going to go through the 3-day stocks. I'll just highlight a couple things. You ought to get an updated version of this. He updated it at 3:14, right? Is that right? You just updated it, right? Is that right, Jonathan?
Yep, that's right. That is right.
All right, so these are good numbers, and I would take these numbers and I'd study these numbers. Every one of these stocks that he's showing long for, especially that E-mini. Look at the E-mini. Current price 64.75. The big picture for August says we're going higher, okay? And I think you take that away. Apple's along for the month of August. Amazon's along. MU's along. Meta's along. Meta was breaking out earlier today. It's pulled back a little bit right now, but it was very bullish early in the day. Bitcoin's along. I'm just summarizing. That stock I put in hold it, let me just say this. The stock, Elon, that's in our retirement account, look at that sucker, 17.94. How you like making 2.5% in the first week you're with me on the retirement center? And that reminds me, if you are wanting to be part of the retirement center, I'm gonna have Jonathan post the link in here to join Telegram. And if you get into the Telegram channel on Train Through Tasty Trade, send Roe at DTI Trader a referral link, and Tom Sosnoff, who I talked to yesterday, we're going to do a online get together. I'm going to bring the retirement people in where we get questions answered, stuff like that online, and talk about what's happening out of Chicago, around the world. Okay. So if you're not a member, this is free. Get on board. I mean, we're making money. I hope you want to join us and make money. Today was payday with a couple of our dividend stocks. So we got it cooking with gas. All right. I don't see anything else there. Palantir's had a corrective day today, but it's long for the month. Means next week it could be a buy. And I'll show you how. Reddit. I bought Reddit last night, and Reddit is really taking off for the month. It's been a good stock. Amazon, there's the dividend payers. Amazon's good. Ethereum's a good one. YMAG's good, and QDTY, and even Tesla's good on the dividend payers. They pay every week, by the way. Okay, if you like dividends. That's the 3-day. Now, train and trade. Give me some, before I get into the train and trade at 11, give me your opinion of train and trade every day at 11. guess I got to go down and see. If you got any opinion of train and trade, type it in here. Love it, huh? Thanks, Gwen. Thank you. Fantastic lessons. Thank you, Jim. Frank loves it. Levin's fine, according to Ben. Morris said, Morris, how many, hold it, Morris, go back. Copy what Boris said and show it to everybody. Boris is a long-term student of mine. Boris, what year did you first come to DTI? Kevin says it's amazing. What year did you come, Morris? You remember how far back it was? 17 years ago. He said it's the best I've ever been. That says a lot. Thank you, Morris. Something new, right? Absolutely. All Points says, didn't realize how much I didn't know. That makes me feel good because you always can learn stuff, right? Okay, let's go back to the slide presentation. Train and trade sessions are superb. Thanks, Buck, for saying that. Folks, I'm enjoying it. As long as I'm enjoying it, I'm going to keep doing it. I'll do it in September right now. I already told you I'd do it in September. Plan on it. Plan on it. As long as the numbers keep growing, I'll do it. Do you like the way we're trying to give you the lessons for next week where you can be thinking about those? And then what you can do is take those videos on your computer and start laying it out for these topics. Thanks, Morris, again. ELA, and no, it's a, Eline is a pet stock. I heard the CEO, and I researched it, said it's bullish on my 3-day algo, so I took a piece of it in the retirement retirement center. All right, let's look at next week's education. We got lined up for you. Got to be there. We record it, but you got to be there. I love looking at all the people, or seeing all the people, I guess. Chuck, Monday, we're going to talk about Monday's numbers. You know, I use Monday to make the trades during the week, so I'll show you on Monday everything I do to transition to Tuesday, which is I call trade day. Okay. Tuesday, I'm going to show you my 2-bar strategy. That's a chart reading strategy I use to make money. We're going to take it a little bit bigger picture, and I'll show you how you can track for the week using the 2-bar strategy. That's something I haven't taught in a while. I'm going to teach it, the 2-bar strategy. Wednesday, we're going to talk the best way to use credit spreads. We do a lot of this in TNT, but I'm going to do, I'm going to show you tactics here. This is going to be, you ought to put tactics for credit spreads on that. I'm going to talk about tactics. Will you do that, Jonathan? Add the word tactics. That'll keep my brain to know how to lay it out. Tactics to use credit spread. Perfect. That's great. Thursday, we're going to talk about SPX. People are raving about SPX. They're raving because I've hit a chord, and people like, did you see the numbers? If we can achieve what we laid out, did you see the numbers on the SPX, what you can produce with a little bit of money, good training, good time? Did everybody see that? And folks, just to let you know, I've got it for day traders and people that don't want to day trade, my strategy. It's called, and you put the trade on when it sets up from 9:45 to 10:30. 9:45 to 10:30. All about XPX and my plans, SPX. But Are you excited as I am about SPX, what's coming? Okay. Thursday's that big class we got, so we got that coming. Now, Friday, setting up the last 5 days of the month. It's a different style that I use for the last 5 days of the month. What do I know at the end of the first 3 weeks, roughly, that's going on in a month? I know what stocks are leading and what stocks are failing. I'll show you how to set up the last 5 days of the month the way I do it. That'll be on Friday. That's something to look forward to next Friday, August 22nd. Now, all training and trade recordings can be found on my YouTube channel. Go to live tab, www.dtitrader.com/YouTube. Now, this is a class I taught here at Ponte Vedra. Nice looking class, huh? Anyway, I taught it here in person, small group, and we had a ball. Notice I got Adam Mallory there to help me, and it was just a great class. So people really had a good time, okay? That was a summer experience that we had. And if you see that little girl that's in the front that's got the red hair, she is like a superstar when it comes to note taking and that kind of stuff. She's going to Deloitte to be a consultant there. She's going to be fantastic, you know, master's degree and all that. Her mother wanted to come. There is her mother next door or next to her. Okay. Now, my upcoming classes, I've got September 22nd and 23rd. I think I'm almost filled up there. There's a benefit if you sign up, okay? Okay, I'm just telling you. I think you're gonna really like it. October 6th and 7th, got a few. October 13th, advanced. December 8th and 9th, I got futures available the last month of the year, okay? Last month of the year. That's a big week, okay? December 8th and 9th. Now, what'd you get by attending an in-person small class? This is a big bonus, folks. You get a free year of my Futures First education. Well, why is that so good? How many people like to have an opportunity as early on Monday night on what's going to move that week? Tell me yes if you do. If you like to find out on Monday night where the money is flowing to, how many people like that? Well, I share with people on Monday night. And if you put the combination of coming in person and being in this continual education about futures, you're going to get to be a better trader. That's just the way it works out. That's just the way it works out. And Monday night at 7, I let people know this is the 7 sisters out of the 7 sisters. This is the one where money's going to flow. Now, what you get from the online education, every Monday at 7, I identify the best market with the highest reward and lowest risk is what it said, okay? Risk. Jonathan Russian there, but that's okay. That's what I look for when I trade anything. Highest reward, lowest risk. And there's a bunch of it out there if you know where to look. How hard is it for someone who's never traded futures to participate? That's a question if you're new. Who's new? Who's never traded futures? Who's new to futures? Let me ask that question. Who's new to futures? Okay. Here's my promise. If you will listen, I will teach you along with Jonathan and educate you to why you should have never been trading stocks without understanding futures. You don't have to trade futures, but you got to understand it. And I will teach you how to understand it, the language to look for, when it comes to news. We have news all the time. Futures are a great source to figure out what to do. And it really is very simple the way I lay it out. I've never had somebody say, Tom, you're just too complicated, because I slow down and go through it in a very, what I call, organized manner to help make sure that you understand. So I don't think it's hard at all, and my students don't either. Get on board. Don't go another day without being part of it. Five things to watch next week. Fed policy, FOMC minutes, always a market mover. Write that down. 2 o'clock on Wednesday. 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Thursday, economic policy symposium. Looks the way to spend our tax dollars. There'll be something going on there. Then Friday, he delivers a headline speech in Wisconsin, and he'll talk about things. We'll find out what he's thinking, usually what the board's thinking, but he'll tell everybody. Look forward to that. Fed speak, they call it. I really don't ever tell you anything, but they put a lot of attention on it, okay? Jobs, PMI, and housing, Thursday, the 21st. And existing homes, I think existing home sales are going to come under close scrutiny. That's what I believe when that happens, okay? All right. All right, so here's the earnings next week that steer to consumer and real economy. Monday, Palo Alto Networks, that's cybersecurity. Has anybody ever had a credit card used by somebody that shouldn't have used it, and you had to call your credit card company? I've been going through that. That online security is very important. Home Depot on Tuesday, Target on Wednesday. Remember the last big trade we made in TNT on Target? I'll be looking this Wednesday for that, August the 20th. And of course, get a good night's sleep Wednesday night, because here we come. Thursday, SPX final master class on Thursday. Treasury auctions and all that will come into play, because the closer we get to the Fed meeting in September, this is going to be big topics by the financial community. Will he cut? How much will he cut? All that stuff becomes in line with our thinking. Oh, bond option. Next week's schedule, Monday, 11 o'clock. There I am every day, 11 o'clock. Every day, Monday through Friday. Futures first, highlighted on Monday night. I don't know about you. Who likes to get off on the right foot with the market each week? I love to do it on Monday night with that futures first education. It's a great way to get started on the first night of the week. Really is. It's just perfect timing. Perfect timing. I like good timing. You should too. Your risk goes down with good timing. I don't talk futures first. I was thinking about it. I got to get people in there that's not in there. And today is the day to join. Let's talk futures first education. Okay? So this is going to teach you. It's been a big part of my life's work, understanding the futures market. A lot of ups and downs in the futures market, but I've got a profile now that I can teach you, okay, how to understand it, how to feel comfortable, how to do the, future options, all that stuff I can teach you in our class. I can do that. And how do I know that? The students tell me. You ought to see some of the postings in there. I've got a doctor in Texas. He's just loving it. Okay. Just to give you an example, he posted in there, oh, had a great day. Big part of my life's work. I love it. When you love something, it's not work, when you really enjoy doing it. And I love teaching futures. The whole method that I came up with for DTI is really based on futures first. So when I trade stocks and when I trade options, I'm using the futures market to decide my timing. That's why you say, well, he's got great timing, right? Because I'm using that futures. I'm tying it together. That's what I'm teaching in futures. And you're going to love Monday's lesson. Well, how good is the DTI method? That's what I would, if I was sitting out there and said, well, how good, this guy keeps talking about futures. This guy keeps talking about DTI. How good is the DTI method? Well, there's only one way to know. 93% accuracy in May. Hey, look at June. 100% accuracy there. When I'm live in front of people where you know just how good it is, 100% accuracy there. In July, I did have a few losers, 86%. I'm proud of 86%. Usually it's about 80. I'm running at a high rate. In fact, David said he's never seen me this good. And Moore said the same thing. They've been with me a long time. That must be saying something. Maybe I'm getting more disciplined in the art of trading. Starting from scratch, we had to build an entire curriculum. We used to have curriculums, we had classes, foundations, all that stuff, but it got old with the new micro E-mini, the new options, all that stuff. I had to build it was really tough doing that, especially since I'm not in Mobile anymore where I got everybody together. Everybody's stretched out at different places. But I did it, and now we got it. And people love it. Bill, a longtime student, re-engaged with futures when I started talking about it. All the things I taught him were still there. He just had to be reviewed. He was ready to go. Now here's a list of all the classes we've held so far. They grow every week. How about the first hour of trading where we're going to trade the SPX? Wouldn't it help to understand futures? Yep, it would. The micro, E-mini. Traded, oh God, I trade that every day. I show you how to do it. Everything is there. It is so good. It's almost scary to know what we put together. Hey, how about gold? I've been right on gold for greater part of the last 5 years. And we just been killing it in gold when it's time to kill it in gold. My daily pivot today was good. Somebody asked me early in the early session, Tom, how did you know the market was weak? I said, I used my pivot number. My pivot number today was 64.95, and what happened? We went down. I love the E-mini. I love the options. I love using, more complicated strategies, but crude oil. How many people, if you believe what I believe that crude right now is 63, we had a great trade in crude this week. I believe it's going to 45. That's $20. That's $20,000 if you had crude short long enough to take advantage of that. Pretty sweet time to be short crude, I think, okay? All that education's there for you to understand, interpret, ask questions on Monday night, get it cleared up. It's a home study course designed, you take it at your own speed. And then, of course, I'll identify and tell you, we had a Telegram channel. I'll say, hey, we're going to focus on this lesson tonight. And we add to these lessons as we go week by week. We started using Tasty Trade to train on futures. And now we're teaching that alongside where you know how to use the platform to understand it. And people said that made a big difference in their success, knowing how to control their risk, set their targets, and take advantage of what we're doing. Improving that accuracy, lowering the risk is the driving theme. Our home study course is easy to access. In fact, once you get a membership code, you can start studying. Now get started today, because the second half of this year is offering, I think, unparalleled opportunity in history. That's a big statement now. I think it's offering that kind of opportunity this year. I call it Futures First because, in my opinion, understanding futures is your gateway to the rest of the market. And I prove it day in and day out with the trades and opportunities I identify. It's ongoing. I have a library. We're going to keep building it, isolating it, and teaching it. We meet on Monday night at 7. That's a good time to meet. Insights I post in Futures First throughout the week. Insights, things that you'll never learn anywhere else, I post in there. And the Telegram channel from 8 to 9 gets pretty active when needed, and throughout the week when needed. Go to dtitrader.com/futures, 904-706-3532. I got 2 offers there. If you're not sure, I got one that would take you through the end of this year, but the annual membership is the one you want. That's the one that really priced really good. Once you check your email for a link to Futures First Telegram channel, go to the classes, be there Monday night at 7. Let's start our week next week together on Monday night at 7. Any questions about what I covered? Any questions? You know, I find it very interesting that people say, Tom, when I meet him face to face, he's so dang accurate. I said, look, I wasn't always this accurate. You have to have the tools that integrate your thinking with futures. Let me give you an example. The S&P moves the SPY. Everybody knows that, right? S&P moves the SPY. The NASDAQ futures moves to QQQ. The Dow futures moves to Diamond. Crude oil moves 2 stocks, USO and XLE. Crude oil does. Gold moves that gold ETF. A lot of opportunities for income on that one. Gold. Silver moves 2 stocks primarily, SLV and WPM. Go check those out when we said up we go. And y'all remember KGC, that small stock price we bought? Heck, that's pushing 19 now. And then bonds, ZB, you trade that through what? TLT. TLT. That's the way you trade it, and that's what you do. Go to 904-706-3532. Folks, join this program, do yourself a favor, get part of it, and you will find it is something else to be with me for future. I don't say that to be cocky. I'm just confident once I open your eyes to the power of it. Who likes to make money when they're trading stocks? And who likes to know where they're wrong? Okay? Well, if I show you how all that's connected, you're going to be better informed without ever trading a futures contract in your life. All right, I'm going to go put on a trade right now. I'll be back to answer any questions, but get part of it. If you got any questions about what we've laid out on futures, let me know. Then we'll go live when we finish. Market is about 75 right now, not doing anything. Okay? All right, so let me call Jonathan, put the W. I love that strategy. I love that strategy. Folks, everybody realizes, let's just say hypothetically, word leaks out after about 4 o'clock Eastern time. Most stocks quit trading for a while, right? You know what time you can trade futures on? If word leaks out during that hour? Up to 5 o'clock. So there's a possibility on a day like today where it's just spinning like it's doing. There's that possibility that we're going to get a big trade in here by watching this sucker. And when we go live, I will show you what you need to see. That can happen. That can happen. And it might happen, but you got to have somebody leak that ceasefire is going to happen. And the price action will tell us before somebody leaks. Okay? Anybody got any questions before we go live? Those 4 minutes up, give you a chance to take your time and be part of Futures First. John just gave me a note. The trade's been out. So there you go. I like this weekly wrap up. Let's just talk about everything that we've done, what we're going to do, review some of the highlights, even the lowlights. Haven't been a lot of those lately, has it? Pretty cool stuff. Now, Sunday night, we'll come back around. We'll get started by 8 o'clock Sunday night. Depending on what happens here, I'll be in my Telegram channel for Futures First on Sunday night if there's action, okay? About 9 o'clock. Count on it. So what do you think? Isn't this great that we're all able to get together this time of day and do this kind of stuff? I love it. Hey, our golf course here where I live opens back up tomorrow for the first time in about 2 weeks. Guess where I'll be at 10:45 in the morning? Hey, Ben, Atlanta? Your bulldog? That's right, Carol. I had a nice conversation with Carol this week. What a great student, great story. Okay, wrapping it up, final minute. Countdown. Door shutting. Now, Jonathan, when we go live, what I'd like to do is bring the roadmap up, and I'd like you to bring the TQQ up when we get back. Playing at 7:15 in the morning, 100 June. All right.
Okay, Tom, TQQ on the roadmap. You want a 30-minute chart?
Yep. 30-minute chart. I know what it's done this week, but I need you to bring it up there. Okay. That low was 92. What was it? Low 92.43. 43. All right, go to Thinkorswim and bring up an expiration of next week, if you will.
Tasty Trade, the expiration next week is August the 22nd.
We got one for next week. Can you bring it up? We see it. All right, go down if you can and find me a 91.90 put spread. See if you can see that one. How much will they pay me?
91.90 put spread, the one wide, it's offered for 25 cents credit right now.
I put that in my T&T room. I'm going to do that spread right now to say, hope you're in my T&T room because we'll follow along in T&T. Let me do that. TQQ. Okay. And expires, let me do expiration is the 22nd. And I'm going to sell, give me the strikes, Jonathan, say it again, 91.90.
That's it. Currently 25 cents or so. You're targeting, which target?
11 cents. Okay, I got filled at 26 cents. Now, the reason you ought to be in T&T come Monday, I'm going to leg into the credit side of that spread and try to get me another group of money. And that's going to be my trade of wrap up in the next week. So what I'm saying is I did a credit spread at 91.90, and come Monday, if the market rallies, then I'm going to step in there and sell the other side and have me a legged in iron condor for the week, trying to get me $500 total, which will allow me $500 to, if I'm successful on that, right, it will allow me to pay my electric bill and my water bill. What do you think about letting other people pay your electric bill and water bill? I call it the TQQ water/electric strategy here on Friday afternoon. How many people like, who's in TNT number one? It's a utility trade. Exactly, Kevin. Taught it for years. And it's a way, I think I might do it in TNT every Friday. It expires the next week. You like the idea? Carol wants me to come up with a utility for property taxes too. I get it, Carol. I get it. But at least we get the water. Very little money put up. If you do it the way I want to do it, you walk away. Guess what you walk away with? That water bill comes in, electric bill comes in and says, hey, thank you, Mr. TQQ. Folks, it's been a pleasure being with everybody. It's been a great week. I will tell you, I enjoy being with you. And we got paid today, Carol, on our dividends. Retirement Center, if you're not part of it, be sure to reach out to Jonathan Rowe. Get in my futures class, ongoing for a year. Let's have some fun together. If you got time, get down here. You get that total year incorporated in the small class. Can't make it better than that. Carol had a great month so far. Good, Carol. All right, let's see where it goes. Y'all have a good day. And as I always say, I'll see you on the flip side. We got the weekend side hustle out. We got the utility trade out here late on Friday. And I think it's going to be a fun time in the sun. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Jonathan.